Why do so many people who eat eggs every morning still struggle with high blood pressure, unstable energy, and digestive problems? Why do some seniors who choose eggs as their primary protein source find themselves facing unexpected health challenges despite making what they believe is a nutritious choice? The answer isn't about the eggs themselves. Eggs are remarkable, nutrient-dense foods packed with high-quality protein, essential vitamins, and minerals that support brain function, muscle health, and cellular repair. The real problem lies in what we pair with those eggs. The combinations we create on our plates, often out of habit or tradition, can transform a healthy breakfast into a meal that slowly undermines our well-being, particularly as we age. This isn't about eliminating eggs from your diet, it's about understanding that the body doesn't process foods in isolation. When you eat eggs alongside certain other foods, chemical reactions occur that can block nutrient absorption, spike inflammation, strain your cardiovascular system, and accelerate the very health problems you're trying to prevent. For those of you in your 70s and 80s, these interactions become even more significant because your metabolism has changed. Your digestive system works differently than it did decades ago, and your body's ability to manage stress from poor food combinations has diminished. The fascinating and frustrating truth is that many of the egg combinations we consider normal, even comforting, are the exact pairings that scientific research has identified as problematic. These aren't exotic or unusual combinations, they're the breakfast plates millions of people eat every single day, believing they're starting their morning with nutrition and energy. But what if I told you that 4 common ways of eating eggs could be contributing to heart disease, digestive distress, blood sugar instability, and reduced nutrient absorption? What if simple adjustments to these pairings could help you feel more energetic, think more clearly, and reduce your risk of chronic disease without giving up the foods you enjoy? Let's start with perhaps the most beloved breakfast combination in many households: eggs with processed meats. Picture a typical breakfast scene: scrambled eggs sitting alongside crispy bacon or savory sausage links. For many of you, this combination represents tradition, comfort, and the way breakfast has always been. The aroma alone can transport you back to weekend mornings from decades past. But here's what's happening beneath that familiar experience. Processed meats like bacon, sausage, ham, and deli meats contain chemical preservatives called nitrates and nitrites. Food manufacturers add these compounds to prevent bacterial growth, enhance color, and extend shelf life. These preservatives aren't inherently toxic in small amounts, but when they encounter the amino acids present in eggs under the heat of cooking and the acidic environment of your stomach, they can form compounds called nitrosamines. Research has linked nitrosamines to increased risk of certain cancers and cardiovascular disease. Beyond the nitrate issue, processed meats are exceptionally high in sodium and saturated fats. A single serving of bacon or sausage can contain more than a quarter of your recommended daily sodium intake. When you're in your 70s or 80s, your blood vessels have naturally lost some of their elasticity. Your kidneys don't process excess sodium as efficiently as they once did. Your heart has to work harder to pump blood through stiffer arteries. Adding a regular dose of high-sodium processed meat to your breakfast creates a cumulative stress on your cardiovascular system that builds over months and years. The saturated fat in these meats raises LDL cholesterol, the type that contributes to arterial plaque buildup. When you combine high sodium with high saturated fat alongside eggs, you're creating a perfect storm for elevated blood pressure and increased heart disease risk. Consider Robert, a 72-year-old man who ate eggs with sausage or bacon nearly every morning for most of his adult life. He viewed it as a protein-rich start to his day. But Robert's blood pressure crept steadily upward, his energy flagged by mid-morning, and he often felt uncomfortably full and sluggish after breakfast. His doctor expressed concern about his cholesterol levels and cardiovascular risk. When Robert made one simple change, replacing the processed meat with fresh vegetables like sautéed spinach, sliced avocado, or roasted tomatoes, something shifted. Within weeks, his blood pressure readings improved. His energy became more stable throughout the morning. He felt lighter and more alert. The eggs remained in his breakfast. Only the companion changed, and that single adjustment began to transform his health trajectory. You don't have to abandon the hearty, satisfying feeling of a protein-rich breakfast. But swapping processed meats for fresh vegetables, a side of berries, or a slice of whole grain toast gives you the nutrition without the harmful chemical interactions and excessive sodium. Your taste preferences can adapt more quickly than you might think. Many people discover that once they break the processed meat habit, they actually prefer the cleaner, lighter feeling that comes from pairing eggs with fresh foods. The second problematic combination is eggs with refined sugar. And this pairing is more common than many people realize. Think about the typical American breakfast spread. Eggs alongside pancakes dripping with syrup, toast with sweet jelly, a glass of orange juice. Each of these additions loads your meal with refined sugars that your body processes very differently than the natural sugars found in whole fruits. When you eat refined sugar, your blood glucose spikes rapidly. Your pancreas responds by flooding your bloodstream with insulin to shuttle that glucose into your cells. This dramatic spike is followed by an equally dramatic crash, leaving you feeling tired, irritable, and hungry again within a couple of hours. For older adults, this blood sugar roller coaster is particularly damaging. As we age, our cells become less responsive to insulin, a condition called insulin resistance. When you regularly combine eggs with refined sugars, you're forcing your pancreas to work overtime, pushing your body closer to type 2 diabetes. The chronic inflammation triggered by repeated blood sugar spikes contributes to heart disease, cognitive decline, and accelerated aging at the cellular level. The excess sugar that your body can't immediately use gets stored as fat, particularly around your midsection, which is the most metabolically dangerous type of fat accumulation. Susan, a 68-year-old woman, loved her breakfast of scrambled eggs with toast and grape jelly, accompanied by a glass of orange juice. She thought she was eating a balanced meal because it included protein from the eggs. But Susan experienced intense mid-morning energy crashes. She felt irritable and found herself craving more sweets by 10 in the morning. Her fasting blood sugar readings were creeping into the pre-diabetic range, and her doctor warned her about her trajectory. When Susan replaced the jelly with sliced strawberries on her toast and swapped the orange juice for unsweetened tea with a slice of lemon, her experience changed dramatically. Her energy stabilized. The mid-morning crashes disappeared, her mood improved, and over several months her blood sugar readings moved back into the healthy range. The key insight here is that not all carbohydrates affect your body the same way. Whole fruits contain natural sugars, but they also contain fiber, vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants that slow the absorption of sugar and provide genuine nutrition. When you pair eggs with whole fruit instead of refined sugar, you get sustained energy, stable blood sugar, and you avoid the inflammatory cascade that refined sugars trigger. A sprinkle of cinnamon on your eggs or fruit can also help regulate blood sugar. These small adjustments preserve the pleasure and satisfaction of your breakfast while protecting your metabolic health. The third combination that deserves your attention is eggs with soy milk. And this one surprises many people because soy milk is often marketed as a healthy alternative to dairy. If you've reduced or eliminated dairy from your diet due to lactose intolerance, concerns about cholesterol, or other reasons, you may have turned to soy milk as your beverage of choice at breakfast. The challenge with combining soy milk and eggs in the same meal comes down to a specific compound found in soybeans called trypsin inhibitors. Trypsin is a digestive enzyme that your pancreas produces to break down proteins into amino acids that your body can absorb and use. Trypsin inhibitors, as their name suggests, block this enzyme from doing its job effectively. When you drink soy milk with your eggs, the trypsin inhibitors in the soy interfere with your ability to digest and absorb the high-quality protein in the eggs. This means you're not getting the full nutritional benefit of the eggs you're eating. For older adults, protein absorption is already more challenging than it was in younger years. Your digestive system produces less stomach acid and fewer digestive enzymes. Your intestinal lining is less efficient at absorbing nutrients. Adding a substance that further blocks protein digestion compounds these age-related changes. The result can be bloating, heartburn, fatigue, and over time, inadequate protein intake despite eating protein-rich foods. Protein is absolutely critical as you age. It maintains muscle mass, supports immune function, aids in wound healing, and provides the building blocks for neurotransmitters that regulate mood and cognition. Eggs are one of the best protein sources, available because they contain all 9 essential amino acids in optimal ratios. But when you pair them with soy milk, you're undermining this benefit. The eggs also contain choline, a nutrient vital for brain health and cognitive function. And trypsin inhibitors can reduce absorption of this nutrient as well. Frank, a 75-year-old man, switched to soy milk years ago and habitually drank a glass with his morning eggs. He couldn't understand why he felt so tired despite eating what he considered a nutritious breakfast. He experienced frequent bloating and digestive discomfort. When his daughter, a nutritionist, suggested he try almond milk instead and reserve soy milk for other times of the day away from his eggs, Frank was skeptical that such a small change could matter. But within 2 weeks he noticed a difference. His digestion improved. The persistent fatigue that he'd attributed to aging began to lift. His thinking felt clearer. The solution isn't necessarily to eliminate soy products from your diet entirely. Fermented soy products like tempeh and miso contain lower levels of trypsin inhibitors. And if you enjoy soy milk, you can continue drinking it, just not at the same meal as eggs or other high-protein foods. Almond milk, oat milk, and coconut milk don't contain trypsin inhibitors and pair perfectly well with eggs. This simple timing adjustment allows you to enjoy both foods without compromising nutrient absorption. The fourth and final combination that can cause problems is eggs with raw onions. Onions add flavor, crunch, and appeal to many egg dishes. Omelets, scrambled eggs, and egg salads often feature diced raw onions. Onions contain beneficial compounds, including antioxidants and anti-inflammatory substances, when consumed appropriately. But raw onions also contain sulfur-based compounds that can interfere with digestion and nutrient absorption when eaten with eggs. These compounds can irritate the stomach lining, particularly in digestion. Older adults whose digestive systems are more sensitive. They can cause bloating, indigestion, nausea, and acid reflux. Beyond the digestive discomfort, raw onions can interfere with the absorption of certain B vitamins and iron from your eggs. They can also contribute to bad breath that persists for hours, which may seem like a minor concern but can affect your confidence in social situations and your willingness to engage with others. For seniors who already face challenges with social isolation, anything that creates a barrier to social interaction deserves attention. Helen, an 80-year-old woman, loved adding raw onions to her morning omelette for the sharp flavor and crunch. But she regularly experienced stomach upset about an hour after breakfast. She assumed this was just part of getting older and that her stomach had become more sensitive generally. When she mentioned it casually to her doctor, he suggested she try cooking her onions instead of eating them raw. The change seemed almost too simple to matter, but Helen gave it a try. The stomach upset disappeared. She still enjoyed the flavor of onions in her eggs, but without the digestive consequences. The solution here is straightforward. Cooking onions breaks down the sulfur compounds that cause digestive problems. Sautéed or caramelized onions add wonderful flavor to eggs without the negative effects of raw onions. You get the taste and nutritional benefits without compromising your comfort or nutrient absorption. If you absolutely prefer raw onions, consider reducing the amount you use or eating them at a different meal rather than with your eggs. Now, you might be thinking that these 4 combinations cover a lot of common breakfast territory. You might be wondering what you can eat with your eggs. The good news is that there are countless delicious, nutritious options. Fresh vegetables of all kinds pair beautifully with eggs. Spinach, tomatoes, mushrooms, bell peppers, zucchini, asparagus. These vegetables add flavor, texture, vitamins, minerals, and fiber without any of the problematic interactions we've discussed. Whole grain toast provides complex carbohydrates that digest slowly and provide sustained energy. Avocado adds healthy fats that support heart health and help you feel satisfied. Fresh berries give you natural sweetness along with powerful antioxidants. Herbs like basil, cilantro, parsley, and chives add flavor without any downside. The underlying principle here is simple but powerful. Your body doesn't process foods in isolation. The combinations you create matter just as much as the individual foods you choose. This is particularly true as you age because your digestive system, metabolism, and cardiovascular function have changed in ways that make certain food interactions more consequential. A combination that you tolerated easily in your 40s or 50s may now contribute to inflammation, poor nutrient absorption, or metabolic stress. This isn't about being overly restrictive or fearful of food. It's about being strategic and informed, so that every meal supports your health rather than silently undermining it. These four egg combinations are so common that most people eat at least one of them regularly without ever questioning the pairing. Eggs with bacon or sausage, eggs with sweet breakfast items, eggs with soy milk, eggs with raw onions. Each seems harmless or even traditional, but the cumulative effect over months and years contributes to the very health challenges that concern you most: heart disease, diabetes, cognitive decline, digestive problems, low energy, and reduced vitality. The empowering truth is that you can address all of these risks with simple substitutions that don't require you to give up eggs or sacrifice the pleasure of eating. Start by looking at your typical breakfast. Which of these four combinations do you eat regularly? Pick one to change first. If you usually have eggs with bacon or sausage, try replacing the processed meat with sautéed vegetables for 1 week and notice how you feel. If you've been adding jelly to your toast or drinking juice with your eggs, swap in fresh fruit and unsweetened beverages. If you drink soy milk with breakfast, switch to almond or oat milk. If you love raw onions in your eggs, cook them first. One change, observed mindfully, can give you valuable information about how your body responds. Your eating habits have accumulated over a lifetime. They're connected to memories, comfort, and routine. Changing them doesn't happen overnight, and it doesn't need to. But every single meal is an opportunity to make a choice that either supports your longevity and vitality or works against it. The years you have ahead of you can be vibrant, energetic, and healthy. The food combinations you choose play a significant role in determining which path your health takes. You deserve to feel good, to have energy for the activities you love, to think clearly, and to move through your days with strength and comfort. These simple adjustments to how you eat eggs can be part of making that possible. If you found this information valuable, take a moment to assess your own breakfast habits. Share this with someone you care about who might benefit from understanding these food interactions. Leave a comment below telling me which egg combination you eat most often and which change you're going to try first. And most importantly, put this knowledge into action. Your next breakfast is an opportunity to choose health, energy, and vitality. Make it count.